Okay, boxing fans, so Callum Johnson stops Emil Markic in the second round. And wow, from the opening bell, Callum Johnson came out like a ball in a china shop. Honestly, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was like some crazy barroom brawl down the East End. Johnson was literally throwing the kitchen sink at Markic throughout the entire first round. And I think he wanted to get him out of there as soon as possible. You know, he was applying the pressure, he was coming forward, and there was about a minute and 30 left of the first round. And Johnson was backing up Markic a bit near the ropes. And Markic just literally threw a straight right down the middle and caught Johnson flush on the chin. And I've seen it a couple times from different angles, and Callum Johnson's right knee actually touched the canvas for a very, very short period of time. So either the referee didn't see it at all, or the referee saw it and didn't give it as a knockdown, because that was a knockdown. I've seen it a couple different angles now. It was very quick, but the knee did touch the canvas. He recovered slightly from that. He carried on coming forward, applying the pressure. And near the end of the first round, the left eye of Markic was literally swollen up, looked like almost a balloon. And Johnson went back to the corner as well, and his nose was streaming as well. So both guys were going for broke, really, from the opening bell. And the start of the second round wasn't too different. I think Johnson took his foot off the gas a little bit. He was still coming forward and applying lots of pressure to the body and hitting Markic with left hooks. But there was about 45 seconds of the second round left. And Johnson had Markic up against the ropes. And he was just absolutely unloading and emptying the tank. He was hitting him with right hooks to the body and just clumping him with left hooks to the temple. And he wanted to make sure that the ref was going to stop that fight. He was literally putting everything into those punches, you could tell. And inevitably, with about 30 seconds left, the ref granted him his wish and stepped in. I mean, Markic, in all fairness, was being held up by the ropes by the end of the barrage of punches. In fact, by the time the ref had actually jumped in, Markic was almost sitting on the ropes. So fair stoppage there. I'm not going to complain about that at all. But yeah, obviously, look, in the pre-fight build-up, Johnson said about he wanted to make a statement, you know, send a message out to the domestic scene as well as the world scene. Now, yeah, you've certainly sent a message out, but I don't necessarily think it's going to be for all the right reasons. Now, if Callum Johnson wants to get back up to world title contention, and I believe he can do so, he needs to slow down. You know, even Joe Gallagher in his corner during the first, after the first round, said, look, it's a 10-round fight, okay? I would have liked to have seen Johnson work his way into the fight maybe and slowly dismantle his opponent. You know, maybe try and get in 4, 5, maybe in 6 rounds. And I think that's what I'm now going to want to see from him in his next fight. Now, I think Warren said after the fight that they're going to try and get him out in June, which is good. I think he needs to come out sooner rather than later, especially after the long layoff. So let's see him come out again in June. Not too sure who I'd like to see him fight yet for his next fight, because we obviously know that Lyndon Arthur and Anthony Yarde still need to take care of business down the line. Now, Anthony Yarde was meant to fight last night, but he had to pull out because of an injury. So Yarde has still got his fight. Now, hopefully his next fight will definitely be against Arthur. Now, I think whoever wins that between Arthur and Yarde, they will probably fight Johnson down the line later this year. And I think whoever then wins that fight, I think they'll be the ones that will be pushed by Warren to go for that WBO, which at the moment is currently held by Joe Smith Jr. And you've got Arthur ranked number 1, Anthony Yarde number 11, and Johnson's now in the rankings at number 14. So a lot of British guys up there mixing it for the WBO. So very interesting to see what comes about with that. But yeah, look, for me, Callum Johnson, he's got a lot of potential. And look, he's always been a very much aggressive, come forward fighter, but I think a lot of last night as well was to do with the fact that he'd been out the ring for 2 years. He had a lot of nervous energy. You could see that. And like I said, I think if it was up to him, he would have tried to have got the guy out there in the first round, but it almost cost him. Like I said, for me, that was a legitimate knockdown. Albeit very brief, but as far as I'm concerned, body part hit the canvas. So if the ref sees it, he's got to give it. So he got very, very lucky there. But yeah, but the second round, I mean, the fight was conclusive as far as the winner, but obviously there's a couple of question marks over what I've seen. But at the same time, he's obviously had a very long layoff. He's going to be fairly rusty. So yeah, let's see him come back out in June, July, no later than that. And let's see if he fights then the winner of Arthur and Yard. I think realistically, I know that he wants to fight for a world title, you know, next Saturday if it was up to him, but I think he needs 2 or 3 more fights. He's 35, so he's kind of at that crossroads now where he still has time, but he doesn't have a lot of time. You know, the Peterbia fight now was when? October 2018. So that's 2.5 years ago now when he fought for that. So he's definitely going to have to push for this. I mean, if they're not at the end of this year, then you've got to be looking at early 2022 for Callum Johnson. I don't really want to see him fighting for a world title any older than 36 personally, because we're only going to see a slight decline otherwise, and I want to see the best Callum Johnson once he's back fully with all that ring rust gone. But yeah, guys, what did you think? What do you think of the performance overall? Do you think he'll be fighting the winner of Arthur Yard later on to get a push for that WBO against Joe Smith Jr.? What do you think, guys? And yeah, obviously if you enjoyed the video, click the thumbs up, and if you want to be notified when I next drop a video, then click subscribe. Cheers.